back there, many people applied with the hope that, okay, I'm gonna come like the husband or wife or with kid, and my remaining family will join us, right? So there have been plenty of, numerous number of applicants waiting for their husbands to come join, wives to join. And recently they announced that they're changing the rules and that they will not issue the visas for the other members of the families that easily, they were anticipated.
So you can still get the work permit, but you can't bring your family.
You may not be able to bring your
You may not be able to bring.
And people are waiting.
And why did they make that change?
That's a very good question. As a psychotherapist, I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I guess they noticed that you and Pegah you were talking about this issue that for the last 2 years, we have a very different dynamic of Iranian immigrating to Canada. And I guess eventually they understood that just giving visitor visa and asking people to come and look for jobs that even Canadians have difficulties to find it was not a smart idea.
For who?
For Canadians,
for non-Iranians? So on the face of it, it seems like a great thing, right? Seems like, oh, this is a benevolent act by the government. Seems like it's a... So what exactly have the problems been before we get to the stress and trauma part that you deal with?
I think we didn't have, at least as a person who lives in Toronto, we didn't have enough of prerequisites for this many of people coming here, looking for jobs, bringing tuman, exchange it to the dollar, and trying to survive here with no jobs. And you know, Jian, you have seen our Iranian community. Most of us, when we come from Iran, we kind of Iranian expect to have to maintain the same lifestyle here, which is not possible. And starting from scratch has been very challenging for us.
And with the recent change, the problem with that is suddenly we've got these divided families.
Yeah.
Wasn't it always kind of like that? I mean, my dad came here before the rest of us migrated here.
I guess it kind of was, but now it's like, I have many clients who in Canada who are waiting, like I know a lady who came with her son, and they have been waiting for the husband to join. And the son is going here to school. The wife can't find job right now because she should take care of school, son stuff, and there is no date that when the husband will join.
That part doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you let the family go? I mean, that's the part that doesn't make sense. And it's almost like they're playing both sides. They want to appease those who are saying, no, too many immigrants, and at the same time they want to appease Iranians by giving the work permit. So talk to me about what you've then discovered in your practice in terms of, I'm assuming now a number of your clients have been bringing this up and
unbelievably
skyrocketing.
Yeah, skyrocketing. And of course, Canada's doors were open more than any other countries. And as visitor, and they thought, okay, let's do something, let's get out. I know many even couples, they came and they don't have any prerequisites to establish their lives here. They just came to come and then, okay, let's switch the visa to work permit, now what to do. And you know, in Iran, there's no equal right of men and women. That's the main issue in Iranian couples.
So what do you tell them?
To who?
What do you say as their therapist, as their psychologist?
I guess the main issue is that if I want to go to a country, like say, if you want to go camping in winter in Canada, you know that you need clothes that they will cover you for minus 40 degrees, right? You don't go with flip-flop. That's what's happening with the families. When I talk with them, that what was your expectation? Your wife will go work and will not obey. Even families with kids, teenagers, they want to live their lives, but parents want to have the same culture. They want to have the same rules.
Well, that's another thing. Melting in somehow. But that now there's a lot more, and it's a byproduct of the community being so big, you know, that people, as you know, can come here and not have to learn English and just spend the whole time talking Persian and going to the super khorak and buying the car off the Persian car dealer and whatever. And so there's a weird transplanting of culture. And we've talked about this on the show a couple of times, where you don't want to sort of devolve into bigoted right-wing talking points of like, well, why did you come here? But it is a bit like that. It's like, well, if you wanted to just have the exact same thing you had in Iran here, why come here? You know, why not just have it in Iran?
Yeah, I asked them. And they say that, no, we are Iranian. We should keep the Iranian blood here boiling. And part of Iranian blood is part of the stuff that I talk in my podcast a lot, like gairat, like tarof, like kind of stuff that they don't make any sense here. They don't make sense. And I have like teenagers, they tell me, you know, my parents are liars. They say something at home, they say something else outside. When the guests come, they change their face. And why they notice
that? No surprise to anybody in this room.
Why they notice that? Because they go to school and they hear about transparency. They hear how to be honest, how to care about others. But that's not happening in Iran. Not all of them, I'm not overgeneralizing, but at least people who I'm working with, that's their main challenge.
Your podcast has a massive listenership and a lot of them are all over the world. How Canadian an issue is this? Is this something that's resonating right now?
I talk with my clients and there are repetitive patterns. People just go on and on.
Masalan.
I have something we talk about a lot, that why was I surprised? Why was I surprised so much? This is a slang I made. Like, we know when we come to Canada, we are supposed to make some changes. Like when I came to Canada, I knew that I cannot have the same job, same position, like same income. I don't want to say downgrade myself. I want to say I learned that I should first merge into the society. Right? Learn. I can't just, upon my arrival, drive the way I used to drive in Tehran, which wasn't good enough.
And that's not happening as much now. You have a new project that you're working on as well. Don't talk about these things, you know, let's just move on.
I have a question. What's the percentage of men here?
Well, I'm not sure how we measure that. Hey, clap if you identify as male.
There are many men.
Oh.
No. Joke aside, the thing is that many women approach me and they said, I really want to work.
The problem is the men.
No, the problem is not men.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna go sit there.
Okay.
No, the problem is not men. Men are more resistant when it comes to opening up, talking about their problems. Right? Accepting that there is something to talk about.
Oh, more resistant. They are less likely to do that.
Yeah. But when we announced it in my page, many couple approached and they said.
That's fascinating. I'm surprised that they want to come do that on your podcast, on your show. Yeah. That's going to be very interesting. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for talking about this and the subject and much more conversation we had. So was about you. Check out her podcast.
And she was a neighbor's girl, and I fell in love with her because she always smelled of Nivea and Blendex cream, you know, that she wore on her face and on her hands. And I always associate the smell of those two creams with Farimande. Farimande comes to mind. And I fell in love with her, and it was true love. You know, to me, that was love.
An older woman at the time, right? You were 6.
Oh yeah, exactly. She was 2 years my senior. But unfortunately, you know, they departed, and that emptiness stayed with me because, you know, I really missed her. You know, because. I said in one of the droplets, you know, the droplets of my life, that in order to throw snowballs at her, I had prepared some snowballs, you know, but, you know, she wasn't there anymore, and the snowballs melted in the corner of the garden without her.
This is Rook, episode 340, live from the City Playhouse in Thornhill, Ontario, Canada, in front of a sold-out crowd. A big thank you to one of our amazing sponsors for this show, Beatmeshk Events. Now, Beatmeshk Events have specialized in event planning for the Greater Toronto Area. Their full party service saves you the time and stress of pulling together everything yourself, from fully decorated tables to stunning flower and balloon displays, and even your food and drink are all sorted for you. Just imagine all of the lovely memories of a fun-filled party. Happy wedding! Beautiful.
Wow.
Okay.
This is
right now, a surprise guest, a special surprise guest. She is a trained soprano, a familiar face and voice for the Iranian community in Toronto and beyond. She was born and raised in Iran, started her music training by learning the violin. She later graduated to vocal techniques and became a member of the Iran Youth Choir at Tehran's Rudaki Hall. After moving to Canada, she continued her vocal training at the Royal Conservatory of Music. Next week, she has, if you're in the Greater Toronto Area, she has an event in Toronto called From the Caspian Sea, Meridian Arts Centre in Toronto. It will be in aid of children in Iran, performing an original piece here at Rook Live 3, accompanied by Ghazal Akhundzadeh. Please welcome Golrukh Aminian.
امشب چرا